Hello, welcome to part 4 of a 4-part series of courses that provide an overview of Bulletin 137, Louisiana Early Learning Center License and Regulations. My name is Andrea Burrell, and I'm the Internal Operations Senior Manager, and I will be presenting this last course to you. Introduction to Course 4. The objective of this course is to provide an overview of the regulations that can be found in Chapters 19, Chapters 21. If you have any additional questions related to the Early Learning Center regulations, they can be directed to your licensing consultant. You can email ldelicensing@la.gov or contact us at 225-342-9905. To help you dig deeper into the licensing regulations, there will be a quiz at the end of each chapter. Chapter 19, Minimum Health, Safety, and Environment Requirements and Standards. Section 1901, General Safety Requirements. Telephones and emergency numbers. A working capable phone of incoming and outgoing calls shall be readily available at the center at all times. Cellular phones are not acceptable for this purpose. When a center has multiple buildings and a phone is not located in each building where children are present, the center shall establish and follow written procedures for securing emergency help. The written procedures shall be posted in each building. Centers located in schools and churches shall have a phone within the licensed area. Appropriate emergency numbers, including but not limited to numbers for the fire and police departments, nearby hospitals and medical centers, Louisiana Poison Control and Child Protective Services, and the physical address of the center shall be prominently posted on or near each phone. Lighting. Areas used by children shall be lighted in such a way as to allow visual supervision of the children at all times. End of the day check. The entire center and play yard shall be checked after the last child departs to ensure that no child is left at the center, and this check shall be documented. Documentation shall include the date, time of visual check, and signature of the staff conducting the visual check. Sex Offender Registry. An early learning center shall register with the Louisiana State Police Sex Offender Registry at www.lsp.org to receive updates when a sex offender moves within 2 miles of the center. Centers shall not permit any individual convicted of a sex offense as defined in Revised Statute 15-541 to have physical access to the center. The owner or director of an early learning center shall immediately notify law enforcement personnel and the department verbally if there is a known registered sex offender on the premises of the center. The verbal report should be followed by a written report to the department within 24 hours. All equipment used by children shall be maintained in a clean and safe condition and in good repair. Movable equipment shall be secured and supported so that it shall not fall or tip over. Microwave ovens, bottle warmer devices, and crock pots are prohibited in areas accessible to children. Items that can be harmful, such as medication, poison, cleaning supplies and chemicals, and equipment, tools, knives, and other potentially dangerous utensils shall be kept in a locked cabinet or other secure place that ensures they are inaccessible to children. Plastic bags, when not in use, regardless of purpose or use, shall be made inaccessible to children. Construction, remodeling, and alterations of structures shall be done in such a manner so as to prevent hazards or unsafe conditions such as fumes, dust, and safety hazards. Strings and cords, including but not limited to those found on equipment, window coverings, televisions, and radios, shall be inaccessible to children under age 4. First aid supplies shall be kept at the center and shall be easily accessible to employees, but not accessible to children. The center shall prohibit the use of alcohol and tobacco and the use of possession of illegal substances, unauthorized potentially toxic substances, fireworks and firearms, and pellet and BB guns on the center premises, and notice to this effect shall be posted. The personal belongings of center staff members shall be inaccessible to children. The center shall post a copy of the current Safety Box newsletter issued by the Louisiana office of the Office of Attorney General and shall immediately remove from the early learning premises any items listed as recalled. Lawn cutting services shall not occur while children are on the playground or outside the early learning center. Section 1903, Physical Environment. Exclusive use of space. Indoor and outdoor space shall be exclusively used by children in care and staff during hours of operation. Exceptions are only allowed for schools or churches regarding the shared use of kitchens, dining rooms, restrooms, and outdoor space. If a center is located in a school or church, the center shall have time designated for exclusive use of the outdoor play area. Physical separation. An early learning center, except one located in a church or a school, shall be physically separated from any other facility, dwelling, business, or enterprise, thereby preventing unauthorized access to children in care. Indoor and outdoor areas shall be free of hazards. Indoor space. A minimum of 35 square feet of usable indoor space shall be available per child. The space shall not include toilet facilities, hallways, lofts, storage spaces, stairways, lockers, offices, storage or food preparation areas, rooms used exclusively for dining or sleeping, or rooms used exclusively for the care of ill children. The maximum number of children in care at one time, whether on or off the premises, shall not exceed the capacity as specified on the current license. Any room counted as play space shall be available for play for the duration of the hours of operation. Indoor space shall be including an area for dining, which may be in a classroom. The number of children using a room shall be based on 35 square feet per child requirement, except for dining, sleeping, and other non-routine activities such as film viewing and parties. In rooms with cribs, there shall be adequate open floor space available for crawling, walking, pulling up, and playing that is free of routine care furniture. An indoor area shall be maintained for the purpose of providing privacy for diapering, dressing, and other personal care procedures for children beyond the age of diapering. Outdoor space. A minimum of 75 square feet of outdoor space per child using the play space at one time shall be available. The minimum outdoor space shall be available for at least 1/3 of the licensed capacity. Outdoor play space shall be available through a direct exit from the center into the outdoor play space, or shall be attached to the center in a manner that ensures children are continuously protected by a permanent fence or other permanent barrier while going to and from the center to the outdoor play space. Children shall not enter or exit the center through the kitchen. Outdoor play space shall be enclosed with a permanent fence or other permanent barriers in a manner that protects children from traffic hazards, prevents children from leaving the premises without proper supervision, and prevents contact with animals or unauthorized persons. Crawl spaces and mechanical, electrical, or other hazardous equipment shall be made inaccessible to children. Section 1905, Nighttime Care for Children. All minimum standards for early learning centers apply to centers that care for children after 9 p.m. and prior to 5 a.m., and in which no individual child remains for more than 24 hours in a continuous day. The following minimum standards also apply. There shall be an employee on duty designated as staff in charge. In addition to meeting all required staff-to-child ratios in Section 1711, there shall always be a minimum of 2 staff present. Staff counted for purposes of meeting child-to-staff ratios shall be awake. Meals shall be served to children at ordinary meal times. Times for personal care routines and preparation for sleep, such as brushing teeth, washing hands and face, toileting, and changing clothes shall be provided. Each child shall have a separate age-appropriate bed or cot with mat or mattress. Bunk beds are prohibited. Physical restraints shall not be used to confine children to go to bed, and the center's entrance and drop-off zones shall be well lit during hours of operation. Section 1907, Furnishings and Equipment. High chairs. The high chair manufacturer's restraint device shall be used when children are sitting in a high chair. Children who are either too small or too large to be restrained using the manufacturer's restraint device shall not be placed in a high chair. Eating practices. Developmentally appropriate seating shall be used. Chairs and tables of suitable size shall be available for each child. Anytime feeding tables are used, children's feet must be able to rest comfortably on a footrest. Feeding tables may also be used for occasional program activities that require a table surface for no more than 30 minutes in one day, in addition to mealtime minutes. Sleeping arrangements. Individual and appropriate sleeping arrangements shall be made available for each child age 1 and older. Individual sleeping accommodations shall be assigned to a child on a permanent basis and labeled unless the cots or mats are sanitized daily. For programs serving children ages 4 and above only, individual and appropriate sleeping arrangements shall be made available for a child that requests a rest time. Bed coverings. A labeled sheet for covering the cot or mat and a labeled sheet or blanket for covering the child shall be provided by either the center or the parent, unless the cots or mats are covered with vinyl or another washable surface. Sheets and coverings shall be changed immediately when soiled or wet. Routine laundering shall occur at least weekly. Cribs. Children are prohibited from sleeping in playpens, or cribs with mesh sides. Cribs shall be free of toys and other soft or loose bedding, including comforters, blankets, sheets, bumper pads, pillows, stuffed animals, and wedges when the child is in the crib. Prohibited items: infants, walkers, toy chests, storage bins, and other equipment with attached lids, latex balloons for children under age 3, trampolines and culverts, and all furniture shall be developmentally appropriate. Section 1909, Safe Sleep Practices. Only one infant shall be placed in a crib. All infants shall be placed on their backs for sleeping. Written authorization from a physician is required for any other sleeping position. Written notice of the specifically authorized sleeping position shall be posted on or near the crib. Infants shall not be placed in positioning devices unless the center has received written authorization from a physician to use that positioning device. Written authorization from a physician is required for a child to sleep in a car seat or other similar device and shall include the amount of time that child is allowed to remain in said device. Back to sleep signs shall be posted in the room where infants sleep. Infants who use pacifiers shall be offered their pacifier when they are placed to sleep, but it shall not be placed back in the mouth once the child is asleep. Bibs shall not be worn by any child while asleep. Nothing shall be placed over the head or face of an infant. A safety-approved crib shall be available for each infant. Section 1911, Care of Children. Diapers shall be changed when wet or soiled. Children shall be changed and cleaned immediately following a toileting accident. Staff shall respond promptly to a request from a child for toileting assistance. While awake, children shall not remain in a crib, baby bed, swing, high chair, carrier, or playpen for more than 30 consecutive minutes. Daily report for infants. Written reports that include the liquid intake, food intake, disposition, bowel movements, and eating and sleeping patterns shall be given to the parents of infants on a daily basis. These reports shall be kept current throughout the day. Children shall not be held by a staff member when the staff member is removing a bottle from a warming device. Pacifiers attached to strings or ribbons shall not be placed around the neck or attached to the clothing of a child. Hot liquids shall not be consumed in the presence of children. Staff members shall adhere to proper techniques for lifting a child. Staff members shall not lift the child by one or both arms. Staff and children shall wash their hands using soap at least at the following times: upon arrival to the center, before preparing or serving meals, before giving medication, after playing in water used by more than one person, after toileting, after helping a child use a toilet or changing diapers, after wiping noses or cleaning wounds, after handling pets and other animals, after playing in sandboxes, before eating meals or snacks, upon coming in from outdoors, after cleaning or handling garbage, and any time hands become soiled with body fluids such as urine, saliva, blood, or nasal discharge. Section 1915, Health Services. Observation. Upon arrival at the center, the physical condition of each child shall be observed for possible signs of illness, infections, bruises, or injuries, and when something is observed, it shall be documented, and such documentation shall include an explanation from the parent or child. So what this means for you is that upon arrival, we should ensure that each child has been checked, and whether or not something is observed, we should indicate that on the daily observation checklist. Reporting. Incidents, injuries, accidents, illnesses, and unusual behavior shall be documented and reported to the parent no later than when the child is released to the parent or authorized representative on the day of the occurrence. Immediate notification. The parent shall be immediately notified in the following circumstances: blood not contained in an adhesive strip, head or neck or eye injury, a human bite that breaks the skin, animal bite, an impaled object. The parent shall be immediately notified in the following circumstances: broken or dislodged teeth, allergic reaction, skin changes, examples, rashes, spots, swelling, etc., unusual breathing, symptoms of dehydration, temperatures reading over 101 degrees oral, 102 degrees rectal, or 100 degrees auxiliary, or injury or illness requiring professional medical attention. The center shall not delay seeking care while attempting to contact a parent if emergency medical attention is required. Information regarding the medical condition of a child may be posted in public view if the center obtains a signed and dated statement from the parent granting such permission. Influenza information. Centers shall provide each parent information concerning influenza immunization by November 1st of each year. The department shall provide information about influenza annually to each learning center. Section 1917, Medication Administration. Written authorization. No medication or special medical procedure shall be administered to a child unless authorized in writing by the parent. Such authorization shall include the name of the child, the drug name and strength, dates to be administered, directions for use, including the route, oral or topical, dosage, frequency, time and schedule, and special instructions, if any. It is not acceptable to note as indicated on the bottle, and signature of parent and date of signature. Required container packaging. For prescription medication to be administered at the center shall maintain the original pharmacy container with the complete pharmacy label. For non-prescription medication to be administered, the center shall maintain the original bottle for the packaging of the medicine or a printed document from the manufacturer's website, which shall include the drug name, print, and clear directions for use. All medications shall be sent to the center in its original container, shall not have an expired date, and shall be clearly labeled with the name of the child to ensure that medication is for individual use only. If a non-prescription medication label reads, consult a physician, the Early Learning Center shall also maintain a written authorization from a licensed healthcare provider for the child to take the medicine. Aerosol. All aerosol medications shall be delivered to the center in pre-measured dosages. Topical. The center shall not apply topical ointments, sprays, or creams without a written authorization signed and dated by the parent. Self-administration. Children shall not administer their own medications without written authorization from the parent, and such children shall administer medication in the presence of a staff. Records. Medication administration records shall be maintained for all children, regardless who administers the medication. Records shall include the following: name of the child and the medication name and dosage administered, date and time medication administered, documentation of telephone contact with parent prior to giving as needed medication, signature of person administering medication or witnessing the child administering own medication, signature of person completing the form, and when a parent administers medication to his or own child on the center premises, the medication administration record shall be documented by either the parent or a staff member. Authorization for as needed prescription and non-prescription medication shall be updated as necessary or at least every 6 months by the parent and shall include circumstances for administering as needed medication and any applicable special instructions. Medical procedures. Children that require medical procedures such as a feeding tube should have specific instructions from a health care provider as part of the overall care plan for the child. Administration of feedings or medications through a tube feeding apparatus shall be performed by a staff member trained and authorized by the parent or individual designated by the parent. Parental authorization and training shall be documented and shall include the name of the child, date of training, name of staff trained, signature of staff trained, and signature of parent. Documentation of feedings and medications administered shall include the name of the child, date, time, what was administered, and signature of administering staff member. Emergency medications. Children who require emergency medications, such as an EpiPen or Benadryl, should have a written plan of action that shall be updated as changes occur, or at least every 6 months, and shall include method of administration, symptoms that indicate the need for the medication, actions to take once symptoms occur, descriptions of how to use the medication, and signature of parent and date of signature. Medication administration records for emergency medication shall be maintained and include the following: symptoms that indicated the need for the medication, actions taken once symptoms occurred, description of how medication was administered, signature of administering staff member, and phone contact with the parent after administering emergency medication. Section 1919, Food Service and Nutrition. All meals and snacks provided by the center and their preparation, service, and storage shall meet the requirements for meals of the U.S. Department of Agriculture Child and Adult Care Food Program. The weekly menu shall be planned for each day of the week and list the specific food items served, be prominently posted by the first day of each week and remain posted throughout the week, and have substitutions or additions posted on or near the menu. Information regarding food allergies and special diets of children shall be posted in the food preparation area with special care taken to ensure that individual names of children are not in public view. If a parent chooses to allow the center to post the child's name and allergy information in public view, the center should obtain a written and signed as well as dated authorization from the parent. A minimum of breakfast or morning snack, lunch, and afternoon snacks shall be served to children, and meals and snacks shall be served not more than 3 hours apart. Centers who do not serve breakfast shall have nutritious foods available for children who arrive in the morning without having eaten breakfast. Children under age 4 shall not have foods that are implicated in choking incidents. Examples of these foods include, but are not limited to, children shall be allowed a reasonable time to eat each meal and snack. Children shall not be forced to finish all of their food. Food should be given to children on individual plates, cups, napkins, or paper towels as appropriate, and individual utensils shall be provided as appropriate. Drinking water shall readily be available indoors and outdoors to children at all times. Water should only be given to infants with written instructions from parents or physicians. Parents shall be allowed to provide breast milk or provided space to breastfeed their child on site. Centers may allow parents to bring food into the center. Parents of all children in a class with a child with allergies shall be advised to avoid any known allergies in class treats or food brought to the center. Infants that cannot hold a bottle shall be held while being bottle fed. A child shall not be placed lying down on a mat or otherwise with a bottle or sippy cup. A bottle shall not be propped at any time. Microwave ovens shall not be used for warming bottles or infant food. Bottled formula, breast milk for infants shall be labeled with the child's name. Section 1921, Emergency Preparedness and Evacuation Planning. Emergency and Evacuation Plan. The director shall consult with appropriate state and local authorities and shall establish and follow a written multi-hazard emergency and evacuation plan to protect children in the event of emergencies that at a minimum shall address any potential disaster related to the area in which the center is located, include procedures for sheltering in place, lockdown, and evacuation to a predetermined site for potential threats to safety, health, and well-being of children in care, includes specific procedures for handling infants through 2 years old, include food and formula, includes specific procedures for handling children with special needs, including the evacuation and transportation of children in wheelchairs, include a system to account for all children, include a system and a backup system for contacting parents and authorized third-party release caretakers, include a system to reunite children and parents following an emergency, include procedures for providing information about the emergency plan to parents at the time of enrollment and when changes occur, be reviewed annually for accuracy and updated as changes occur, and be reviewed with all staff at least once per year. Practice drills should be conducted at least twice per year to include all children and shall be documented. Individualized emergency plan. An individualized emergency plan shall be in place for each child with special needs and shall include medical contact for information and additional supplies as well as equipment. Evacuation pack. The center should have an evacuation pack, the location of which is known to all staff, that at a minimum should contain a list of emergency phone numbers, a list of emergency contact information, and emergency medical authorization for all children enrolled, an emergency pickup form, first aid supplies, hand sanitizer, wet wipes and tissue, diapers for children who are not toilet trained, and plastic bags for diapers, a battery-powered flashlight and radio and batteries, or a crank flashlight and radio, and disposable cups and bottled water. Records. A center shall maintain a copy of records, documents, and computer files necessary for its continued operation following an emergency in either a portable file or at an off-site location. Tornado drills. Tornado drills shall be conducted at least once per month in the months of March, April, May, and June, at various times of the day necessary to include all children, and shall be documented. Quiz time, true or false. Centers located in schools and churches shall have a phone within the licensed area. True. Choose the correct answer. Documentation that the entire center and play yard was checked after the last child departs to ensure that no child is left at the center shall include A, date and signature of the staff conducting the visual check, B, date, time of visual check, and signature of the staff conducting the visual check, C, time of visual check, or D, date and time of visual check. B, date, time of visual check, and signature of the staff conducting that visual check. True or false? The high chair manufacturer's restraint device does not have to be used when children are sitting in a high chair. False. Choose the correct answer. Daily infant reports shall be A, kept current throughout the day, B, in the drawer throughout the day, C, at the front desk throughout the day, or D, in the staff's purse throughout the day. A, current throughout the day. True or false? The director shall establish and follow a written multi-hazard emergency and evacuation plan to protect children in the event of emergency. True. Chapter 21, Minimum Transportation Requirements and Standards. Section 2101, General Requirements, Center Provided, Parent Provided, or Contract Transportation. These general transportation rules apply to transportation, whether for field trips or daily transportation. Transportation arrangements shall conform to all state laws as amended, including but not limited to those requiring the use of seatbelts and child restraints. Only one child shall be restrained in a single safety belt. The number of persons in a vehicle shall not exceed the manufacturer's recommended capacity. Children shall never be left unattended in a vehicle. Each child shall enter and exit a vehicle from the curb side of the street or shall be escorted across the street. Children shall not be transported more than 1.5 hours per trip on a routine basis. Children shall not be transported to prevent the center from being over capacity. Vehicles shall be maintained in good repair. Each vehicle shall have evidence of a current safety inspection. First aid supplies shall be located in each center vehicle or contracted vehicle. First aid supplies, at least one per trip, shall be available for each field trip when parents provide transportation. Center emergency information shall be prominently posted in each vehicle and shall provide the name of the director and the name, phone number, and address of the center. The use or possession of alcohol or tobacco in any form, illegal substances, unauthorized toxic substances, or firearms of any kind is prohibited in any vehicle used to transport children. The center shall maintain a copy of a valid, appropriate Louisiana or other state-issued driver's license for all individuals who drive vehicles used to transport children whether said drivers or staff members are contracted drivers. Centers shall maintain at all times current commercial liability insurance for the operation of center vehicles to ensure medical coverage for children in the event of an accident or injury. This policy shall extend coverage to any staff member who provides transportation for any child in the course and scope of his or her employment. The provider is responsible for payment of medical expenses of a child injured while in the center's care. Documentation shall consist of the insurance policy or current binder that includes the name of the early learning center, the name of the insurance company, policy number, period of coverage, and explanation of coverage. If transportation is provided by parents for field trips or transportation is provided by contract, whether daily or field trips, a copy of the current liability insurance shall be maintained on file at the center. Child safety alarm. In accordance with revised statute 32-295 3.1, a center may have a child safety alarm installed in any vehicle that has a seating capacity of 6 or more passengers in addition to the driver. This vehicle has to be owned or operated by the Early Learning Center, its owner, operator, or employees, and used to transport children to or from the Early Learning Center. The child safety alarm is an ignition-based alarm system that voice prompts the driver to inspect the vehicle for children before exiting the vehicle and shall be installed by a person or business that is approved by the manufacturer of the child safety alarm. An owner or director of an early learning center who elects to have a child safety alarm installed in a vehicle or owned or operated by the early learning center shall ensure that the child safety alarm is properly maintained and in good working order each time the vehicle is used for transporting children to or from an early learning center. Section 2103, daily transportation, contract or center provided. When written authorization shall be obtained from a parent to transport a child on a regular basis, such authorization shall include the name of the child, the type of transportation to and from school, to and from home, the names of the individuals, schools, or other entities to whom the child may be released. A staff person shall be present when a child is delivered to the center. When children are picked up or dropped off at the center by a public or private school bus, staff shall be present to safely escort the children to and from the bus. Vehicle staff. A driver and at least one staff member must be in a contracted or center-provided vehicle at all times when transporting children, and a minimum child-to-staff ratio must be met. However, when transporting children ages 4 and older only, if the vehicle has a communication device that allows the driver to contact emergency personnel and the driver does not leave the vehicle while children are present in the vehicle, only the driver is required to be present in the vehicle and minimum child-to-staff ratios are not required to be met. A contracted driver shall be considered a staff member for purposes of this subsection if the driver is in compliance with the transportation regulations in Chapter 21 of this bulletin, including but not limited to maintaining a daily passenger log in compliance with Section 2103F and completing and documenting a visual passenger check of the vehicle at the end of each route in compliance with Section 2107A. At least one staff member on the vehicle and accessible to children shall have current certification in infant and CPR. Master transportation log. A copy of the current master transportation log shall be maintained on file at the center and shall include the names of the children, the pickup and drop-off locations, and the authorized persons to whom the child may be released. Documentation shall be maintained whether transportation is provided by the center or contracted. Each driver or bus monitor, whether provided by the center or through a contractor, shall be provided a current master transportation log. Passenger log. A current passenger log for each trip shall be used to track children and staff during transportation. The log shall be maintained on file at the center, and a copy shall be provided to the driver or bus monitor. The following shall be recorded in the passenger log: date the transportation is provided, name of the child, name of the driver and staff members, pickup and drop-off location, time the child was placed on the vehicle, time child was released, and the name of the person or entity to whom the child was released, and signature of the staff person completing the log. Section 2105, field trips. The center shall obtain and maintain a signed parental authorization for each field trip. At least 2 staff, one of whom may be the driver, shall be in each vehicle, unless the vehicle has a communication device and the child-to-staff ratio is met in the vehicle. If transportation is provided by parents, a planned route shall be provided to each driver and a copy maintained in the center if any parent is transporting a child in addition to their own. Children shall be supervised during the boarding and exiting of vehicles by an adult who remains outside of the vehicle. A written record for each field trip shall be maintained and shall include the following: date, destination, and method of transportation, names of all the children being transported in each vehicle, names of the driver, staff members, and other adults being transported in the vehicle, names of other adults who joined the field trip at the destination to assist with supervision of children, and the presence of each child each time the children enter or exit the vehicle. Section 2107, motor vehicle passenger checks. A visual passenger check of a vehicle is required to ensure that no child is left in the vehicle. A staff person shall physically walk through the vehicle and inspect all seat surfaces, under all seats, and in all enclosed spaces and recesses in the interior of the vehicle. The staff member should record the time the visual passenger check and sign the log indicating that no child was left on the vehicle. For field trips, each vehicle shall have a visual passenger check and a face-to-name count conducted at the following times: prior to leaving the center for the destination, upon arrival at and prior to departure from each destination, and upon return to the center. For daily transportation services, the vehicle shall have a visual passenger check made at the completion of each trip or route prior to the staff member exiting the vehicle. Section 2109, non-vehicular excursions. Written parental authorization shall be obtained for all non-vehicular excursions. This authorization shall include the name of the child, the type and location of the activity, date and signature of the parent, and shall be updated at least annually. Centers shall maintain records of all non-vehicular excursion activities to include the date, time, list of children, staff, and other adults, and the type of activity. Children shall not be taken on any vehicular or non-vehicular excursion to prevent the center from being over capacity. Children on excursions shall be included when determining whether the center is within its licensed capacity. Quiz time. True or false? Children shall never be left unattended in a vehicle. True. Choose the correct answer. The passenger log shall be maintained on file at the center, and a copy shall be provided to the driver or bus monitor. B, on the bus, and a copy shall be provided to the driver or bus monitor. C, with a teacher, and a copy shall be provided to the driver or bus monitor. Or D, with the director, and a copy shall be provided to the driver or bus monitor. A, at the center. Choose the correct answer. For daily transportation services, the vehicle shall have a visual passenger check made at the completion of each trip or route. A, after the staff member exits the vehicle. B, when the staff member exits the vehicle. C, before the staff member exits the vehicle. Or D, when the bus driver and the staff member exits the vehicle. C, before the staff member exits the vehicle. Choose the correct answer. Transportation authorization shall include the name of the child, type and location of the activity, date and signature of parent, and shall be updated at least A, annually, B, every 2 weeks, C, once a month, or D, every 6 months. A, annually. True or false? A staff person shall physically walk through the vehicle and inspect all seat surfaces, under all seats, and in all enclosed spaces and recesses in the interior of the vehicle. True. Congratulations, you have just completed the last course on the new licensing regulations. For any additional information, you can always reach out to the Division of Licensing at P.O. Box 4249, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70821. Contact us by phone 225-342-9905. Fax us at 225-342-2498, or email us at ldelicensing@la.gov.